Hello, everybody. I thought I'd do a quick update. I am, as you can see, sweating because my goodness, today it is hot. I literally just walked 50 meters to go and get milk. And look at me now. Look at the sweat dripping over my body. Um, yeah, that's a pleasant thought, isn't it? Um, I should just get an Uber. Jeez, I mean, God, this. But look, it's not only the heat that's getting me hot and bothered, it's Aston Villa's transfer window. Oh, my goodness. Well, Villa have made their first signing of the window, according to David Ornstein in The Athletic. Villa have agreed a deal with the Belgian international and former Leicester City player, Youri Tielemans. Wow. Goodness me. I really like Tielemans. I've always rated him. Every time I watched him for Leicester, I thought he looked a very composed player, somebody who was just good on the ball, good at retaining it in tight spaces, and good at playing it forward. Now, look, I've already done a deep dive on Tielemans on this channel, on the audio and on video, with Dougie Critchley, a football broadcaster, works for Football Daily, and you'll see him on Sky Sports quite a lot. And basically, I'll just kind of be repeating a little bit what he said. He basically pulled up that Tielemans is an excellent long-range passer and also good at long-range shots. Now, think about that, hey? Long-range shots. Aston Villa don't score that many long-range goals, do we? And if you're trying to think of an example, let's look at, the Wolves game where we lost 1-0. And Wolves kind of sat quite deep, didn't they? And you think in your head, you know what you could do with someone who has a good long-range shot on them sometimes, to those teams that just like to sit very deep, and cutting inside, trying to play across the area is difficult. And when you're trying to send crosses in and they're just heading it away all the time, it becomes even more frustrating. So Tielemans potentially could offer something in that regard. And an example of that was the FA Cup final, where he scored fantastic long-range effort against Chelsea to win it 1-0. Great goal, great game. And he's played close to 140 games in the Premier League since joining Leicester in 2019. So he's Premier League proven. It's a free. So my goodness, Aston Villa's transfer windows. I mean, think about it. Dan Bardell mentioned this on Twitter as well. Was how you think about it. Boubacar Kamara, Aston Villa's incredible CDM, a world-class talent in my view. Free. Youri Tielemans, 58 international caps for Belgium, proven Premier League player, coming in for free. I mean, his wages might be quite high, but still free. Douglas Luiz, 15 million quid. A player who now looks like somebody who, if you wanted to get him out of Villa, you're going to have to spend a lot of money because he's, again, developed into a really high-quality player. He could be an international for Brazil. On top of that, John McGinn, 1.5 million or whatever it was. Jacob Ramsey, homegrown. I mean, Aston Villa's midfield. We've got possibly, I mean, arguably a midfield that could compete with almost anyone in the league now. You think of that bench next season. If you've got Douglas Luiz and Kamara starting together, and Tielemans is sat there on the bench, you're thinking, bloody hell, that looks all right, doesn't it? And then you got, Thursday night, you'll then have the Conference League, adds depth in that regard as well. So, to me, a proven Premier League player, an international, a player who, now, Dougie Critchley mentioned this as well the other day in our interview. Go watch it, please. He said how Villa did not rank very highly for progressive passes into the final third, right? And that maybe we slightly relied on Watkins' hot streak to keep that momentum going. I think there were various factors as to why Villa did so well under Emery. I think primarily the coaching just was off the charts and the players' levels were also off the charts. But, Tielemans, if that is a case that Villa's passes into the final third aren't, necessarily great, if Tielemans can come in and improve that, well, that's great, isn't it? That's a really positive thing. And I also think that at this stage in his career, he's still 26, so he maybe hasn't even reached his peak yet. To come in and work, after a season that was disappointing with Leicester, where I think you could argue the whole club just seemed as if it fallen asleep a bit. They made a couple of sales last season that were, big characters left like Kasper Schmeichel. A couple of players then couldn't really perform. So, Wilfred Ndidi, for instance, was off it. And Tielemans tends to perform better when he's playing in front of an informed Wilfred Ndidi. So Tielemans playing in front of an informed Boubacar Kamara, or if, the situation arises where Kamara perhaps doesn't play one weekend, maybe you could have Tielemans himself sitting deeper, a Luis sitting deeper, or a McGinn, or maybe Tim Irobenham as well coming back from QPR. Who knows how that will turn out over the summer? So, he's helped put Leicester to consecutive fifth place finishes. I know they got relegated this season, helped them to win an FA Cup. A player that, according to David Ornstein, Villa had strong competition to get him. So, I think that shows how important it was that Villa got into Europe on the final day, beating Brighton at home, because you'd think that pull of Europe, not just Emery, but the pull of Europe, surely is something that, would appeal to Tielemans. So, look, I ain't going to blabber on too long. I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come out later about how this is all working. But at the moment, Tielemans is having a medical with Villa, according to David Ornstein of The Athletic. Greg Evans had reported it earlier this week as well, that Villa were interested in Tielemans. So as you can say, full credit to Greg Evans at The Athletic and to David Ornstein for being aware of this, because Villa, it ain't easy to know what's going on behind the scenes at Villa. It's they keep the cards very close to the chest, don't they? Plenty more to come. I interviewed Youri Barlow earlier as well from Football España, because obviously there's a lot of talk about Monchi, potentially Sevilla's Monchi, coming in as a sporting director. At the moment, I'm wary of believing too much about what's reported in Spanish media with regards to Aston Villa, just because I feel like Villa have the money to spend. Unai Emery's there, so perhaps it's an easy link to make, isn't it? But look, the links are there, so who knows what's going to happen. So I thought it was an interview worth doing. And Youri as well, gives great information, so well informed. And as I said earlier, check out the interview I did with Dougie Critchley. It's on the YouTube channel, and it's also on our audio channels. If you want to find out a little bit more about Youri Tielemans, then what I've said here in this. So look, what a great option that is. Tielemans, Luis, McGinn, Boubacar Kamara. Aston Villa, it's on the up and up, isn't it? I'm feeling good. Hey, there's plenty more to come on this channel. But until then, I love football. I love Aston Villa. Like, subscribe, and tell us down below what you think about Aston Villa signing Youri Tielemans. Up the mighty Villa.